Today I will show you one of my favorite techniques. The cutting elbow is an elbow that's in a circular movement. Why I call it the cutting elbow? Because it's not a pushing elbow. The cutting elbow or the circular elbow, it's one of the most dangerous techniques that exist in the world. A lot of Muay Thai fighters use the elbow, and when this hits you, it's devastating. We see a lot of persons who executed elbows in a longer range, but the efficient distance of this cutting elbow, it's mainly in the short distance. It's also very dangerous. It goes very quick, but when the distance is correct, then it's almost not possible to block it correctly. Since that the elbow is linked to the shoulder and I want to create power into my cutting elbow, I will use a rotation, and this rotation makes that my body does like diagonal movement a little bit downward. So it's not horizontal, but it's more like cutting down. It cuts really very deep and very long. When you speak about efficient techniques executed on the human body, we need to verify the human anatomy. So if we use the cutting elbow, for example, on the upper arm, all depends where the arm, how it is positioned. If the arm is down, the cutting elbow goes into a more horizontal movement. If the elbow is a little bit higher or bent, the elbow cuts a little bit from down up, which is not really a circular movement, but it stays a cutting elbow. The cutting elbow, it's in all diagonals, but it cuts into the body. Here. If it's more in the neck, you will see that it traces a line like this, diagonal downward, so that's why the elbow goes into a downward motion. If the elbow and the arm are raised up like this, the cutting elbow goes a little bit like this. Neck, upper arm can be very low in the kidneys, it can be into the ribs, but it cuts also. So the cutting motion, if it's low, middle, high, cuts always. So important, it's how the elbow will cut into the body and not only pushing. Point of contact is not pushing like this, but it cuts like a knife, really cutting, so it needs to be bent. So I will show you a few exercises how to train it with the focus mitt in order to train it with focus and precision. So when the focus mitt is positioned more horizontal to me, it will cut a little bit more horizontal. This is the short movement, it's like this, and the more cutting movement with more rotation goes like this. So it goes into a circular downward movement. It can go more and it can go back. When it's more like this higher, then I need to cut from high and come down. From here, for example, and it comes back. So we have cutting, cutting, and cutting. An important point is when we execute the elbow in a quick motion, important is that the hand or the fist doesn't open and then comes back into the elbow. So the elbow needs to come immediately. The starting point of the hand, it's not opening, needs to close and immediately. Immediately, no matter if I go higher or lower, but don't open it. This opens here, this part for the block. So the elbows are very dangerous. You don't need to be big and strong to have impact and good efficiency with the elbows. That's why in Wing Flow system, in the defense part, we use a lot of elbow techniques. The elbows in defense goes only to the body and the arm. We don't use the elbows to the neck in the street defense, because remember the previous videos, we are always linked to the law and we cannot allow to attack the throat, the neck, the eyes, and have problems when the police is coming. So to come back to the cutting elbow can cut in all parts of the body. Even when you are low on the floor, on the ground, you can cut into the legs, you can cut into the lower body, upper body, neck, had all the parts of the body can be cut. Just like a knife can cut in all parts of the body. Important not to push, but to cut. In order to have more power, you need to rotate the body or to use the rotational power of the body in order to cut more deeply and with more power. You can cut on all the parts of the body. It can be diagonal, it can be horizontal, it can be lifting up a little bit. You can use both arms, combine it, always short distance, focus and cutting. Yeah. Afterwards you need situations in order to enter correctly, to cut, to push, to attack, to cut again. So the cutting motion, it comes in between the different actions. It can be used in attack as well in defense. Thank you for watching. So if you want to be notified about future videos, don't forget to subscribe. Don't hesitate to comment below and we will answer with more future videos.